You know what's not weird? Prominent figures of history getting statues or honors. And it's usually not weird because when they get the honor, they're no longer doing the thing they're being honored for. They're retired, generally old, or more usually dead. So, you know what is weird? Trump wanting his face on everything, everywhere, all the time. This video has been inspired by the renewed push in getting Trump's face immortalized in that most famous South Dakotan granite, Mount Rushmore. This isn't the first time this pitch has been submitted. Trump stands originally floated the idea back in Trump 1.0, but now in Trump 2.0, the revenge tour, he and his supporters are more emboldened than ever. So yeah, they've started the Mount Rushmore push back up again. So NBC sat down with some engineers and geologists to see if it's even feasible.
Untouched for more than 80 years, there is now an effort by some supporters of Donald Trump to add his face to the monument.
I think history is going to show that he's in the same pantry.
Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna has a bill in Congress that would add Trump to Mount Rushmore. Interior Secretary Doug Burgum left open the possibility.
Will we ever see President Trump's face on Mount Rushmore? What do you think?
Well, they certainly have room for it.
But the practical reality is much different.
But aside from the historic, political, and artistic reasons against changing Mount Rushmore, there's one big barrier, and it's non-negotiable.
I wouldn't want to be messing with Mount Rushmore.
From an engineering and geological perspective, adding any face is near impossible. A close look shows the mountain filled with deep fractures, like this massive fracture that runs right by Washington's head. Paul Nelson, an engineer who worked on the mountain, warns any new carving could cause serious damage.
But it's not something that can be messed with. Is that fair to say?
No. Yeah, I wouldn't want to start blasting or carving rock.
While the mountain looks deep and wide from the front, a side view reveals a massive valley behind the sculpture, leaving very little room to carve. For perspective, Roosevelt's head is 100 feet behind the original granite.
You have to remove so much rock that once you remove the rock to get something competent, there's just not any rock left.
So you heard it from the experts. It's not even possible. But MAGA won't hear that because the report wasn't on Fox, and if they did accidentally catch a glimpse of NBC, they'd dismiss it as fake news. But if somehow even that dug deep enough to find the remains of a conscious mind, they'd dismiss it because who knows more about this shit? Some nerdy rock virgin, we'll call him a geologist or engineer for our purposes, or a red-blooded American patriot. But the thing is, this Mount Rushmore thing is just one example. Since January, Trump and/or his surrogates have campaigned for him to receive a number of accolades he has no business occupying the same breadth of. The most obvious is the Nobel Peace Prize. There was talk of this a couple months ago, and even Netanyahu nominated him alongside with the Pakistani government as well as the Cambodian prime minister, and a couple domestic U.S. bootlickers as well. And it doesn't stop there. This next one is so ironic, it's just mind-melting. He was nominated for the Climate Hero Award. Yes, the Climate Hero Award by U.S. Energy Secretary Chris Wright. This one is less of a formal award and more rhetorical or laudatory. But the gross pick-me energy remains. But the truth is, this story goes beyond mountains and global honors to something even more vast, his narcissism. His main character energy has stolen the spotlight notably in a few uncomfy settings for some globally recognized sporting events and teams. The most notable example was when he shared the stage with the Chelsea Football Club as they received their FIFA Club World Cup trophy back in July. Well, I say they received the trophy, but Trump took it home with him because it just didn't compute that someone would get something made of gold and not him. And then there was speculation that he might drive a McLaren Formula One car in Austin, as if his rotund figure could even get up over the halo and into the cockpit. This claim was ultimately unsubstantiated, with McLaren denying it. But, how does this even come up? Who even thought it would be physically possible for the 79-year-old pudge bag to get in the car, much less drive it and keep his Mandarin gourd upright through corners? But to be fair, even these examples are more of an awkward moment perpetrated by an aging man experiencing mental decline in tandem with a planet-sized ego. There are more haunting and concerning things taking shape all around us here on U.S. soil. After firing the BLS, quote, villain that gave him bad, though accurate, numbers, he had some partisan crony installed in place, and wouldn't you know it, it wasn't long after that there was an enormous banner with that great orange mug draped over the side of the Department of Labor building. And it's not just government buildings. He's also started branding Biden-era infrastructure sites with his own name in an attempt to take credit for the work of an actual adult doing actual leadership. And here's the thing. You don't see Emmanuel Macron doing this. You don't see Mark Carney doing this. You know where you do see it? Russia, North Korea, and the like. I mean, you never saw ego stroking like this from the Bush administration, Obama, or any former U.S. president. And you never saw sycophants twisting themselves in knots to try to stroke his ego the hardest. It's gross, and it seems to be the cost of admission if you want a seat at the table, which is even worse. And as an American, it's embarrassing.